Welcome to System Administrator and Network Administrator Interview Questions and Answers Complete Package. The purpose of combining system and network administration is because of similarities and crossover aspects. For example, system admin may deal with issues of network admin and vice versa. Occasionally, when you interview for one position, you may be tested with questions from another that employee may want to fill. With having 40+ questions learned, it can greatly increase your chances. Top 20 System Administrator Microsoft Interview Questions and Answers. All but first questions are in random orders with some positional relevance to make it easier to follow. Answers are specifically worded to make it as simple as possible to understand without losing meaning. Median salary for Microsoft System Administrator is $60,000 US in United States. Question number 1. Can you tell me about yourself? To answer this question properly, provide any information about you that is related to System Administrator position. Talk about any experience, education, or certifications. Do not speak of things that are not related, for example, hobbies. For a detailed guide to this question, follow the link below. Question number 2. Explain the role of Windows Server. Windows Server is an operating system that uses a centralized computer that provides specific functions, predetermined rules for users, and computers connected to a network. Question number 3. What is Windows Domain? Windows Domain is a centralized location for user accounts, computers, printers, and security features as part of database controlled by a domain controller. Question number 4. What is DNS and which port does it use? DNS stands for Domain Name System, and it's mostly used to interpret domain names into numeric IP address. DNS uses port 53, TCP, or UDP. Question number 5. How many queries does DNS perform and which ones? DNS performs 2 types of queries: iterative and recursive. Question number 6. What is Active Directory? A service of Windows Server operating system, Active Directory is used for user and computer authentication within a domain. It can also enforce security policies and install software to computers connected to a domain. Question number 7. Active Directory database is located where? Using file name ntds.dit, it is located in the system root folder ntds. Question number 8. What is a lingering object? If an object is deleted from Active Directory while the main controller is offline, it can create a lingering object. When object is deleted from Active Directory, a tombstone, which is a temporary file, is created, which then has to be replicated by the main controller before it expires. Question number 9. How do you back up Active Directory? Active Directory can be backed up by using NT-Backup tool that comes with 2003 server. With 2008 server, a command prompt is used to perform backup. Type wb admin space start space system state backup space dash backup target : E : Question number 10. Do you know what garbage collection is? Garbage collection is a process designed to free space inside Active Directory. This is performed by default every 12 hours, a defrag function. Question number 11. Do you know what sysvol folder is? System volume folder is a directory that houses a copy of domain files found on a local hard drive within the main controller. This data is shared for purpose of replication across domain, for example, user logon scripts and Windows group policy. Question number 12. What is RAID? Stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disks and is used to provide data redundancy mirroring across multiple hard disks. It can also be utilized to improve read-write performance across the server by using striping configuration. For example, RAID 1, 2 or more disks with identical data stored redundancy. RAID 0, 2 or more disks, data distributed evenly to improve performance, no redundancy. Question number 13. Which commands would you use in command prompt to test network connectivity? To test network connectivity, ping and IPCONFIG commands are used. Question number 14. What does IntelliMirror do? As part of Windows Server operating system, IntelliMirror provides assistance in managing user data, computer information, applications, and settings. This is used by user group policy that defines business roles, group memberships, and locations. For example, if a user moves to a different computer, the applications, settings, and stored files will follow. Question number 15. Explain what group policy is. A group policy is used to control users' desktops and computer configuration by creating a default template for specific members of the group. This makes it easier to control and process large groups of users. Question number 16. Can you name different types of email servers? And which ports do they use? You can have two types of email servers. Incoming mail server, POP3, port 110, IMAP, port 143, HTTP, port 80. You can also have outgoing mail server, SMTP, that uses port 25. Question number 17. What is the difference between a forest and a domain? A domain is a logic-based group of computers, users, and devices within Active Directory. A tree is a collection of domains. In case there are multiple trees formed, a forest is created. Question number 18. Do you know what virtual machine is? Virtual machine is an emulation version of operating system. You can have multiple copies of Windows Server running on a single hardware platform. This is mostly done through third-party software. Question number 19. Do you know what tattooing the registry means? Basically, the group policy will make the changes to users' registry, but once the group policy is no longer in effect, registry values do not revert back, leaving them tattooed in, so to speak. Question number 20. Why should we hire you? This is your last chance to impress potential employer. Talk about any other experience that you may have related to this job. Mention things any employer could ask from their associates. For example, being dependable, hardworking, and being a team player. At this point, we can take a short break in order to get ready for the second part of this video. If you're with me so far, it probably means that you appreciate my effort in making this video. Please take time to select the like button below or share this video with friends on Facebook or such. I appreciate your support very much. Next up is network administration. Question number 1. Can you tell us about yourself? This question is the most important, not only because it's the very first question of your interview, but this is the only opportunity to sell yourself as the best candidate for this job. You have to make sure that this answer is tailored to the position at hand, meaning only talk about yourself in the relevance to this position. Talk about your past experience in information technology and stay away from irrelevant personal stuff. Stick to the facts about yourself, because if you say something that is not true, the interviewer may follow up with a question that you cannot answer. Question number 2. What is a firewall? Firewall prevents connections between two or multiple sources. It basically blocks any incoming or outgoing traffic. Firewalls can be in software or hardware forms. Question number 3. What is TCP/IP? TCP is a transmission control protocol that deals with establishing a connection between computers before any data is being sent. In other words, it acts as a highway for data packets being sent back and forth, used by various protocols like HTTP or FTP. TCP also sorts out data packet receive order. Question number 4. Can you explain the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, used by majority of websites as means of transmitting website data, and it allows for use of hyperlinks. This protocol mostly uses TCP port 80. HTTPS is a secure version of HTTP that allows for identity verification and low-level encryption using TCP port 443. Question number 5. What is a proxy or a proxy server? Proxy deals with filtering network traffic in a sense of preventing access to certain websites and can even monitor user web activity. To put it simply, it can block certain websites from being accessed, but it can also act as a measure of hiding the true origin and point of access. Question number 6. Can you explain what UDP is? UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol. Unlike TCP, UDP is constantly broadcasting a connection signal which can allow for faster connection speeds. With TCP, you have to wait for connection confirmation, which takes time. UDP sends out data without consideration of what it is that it's receiving it, sort of like radio signal. Question number 7. What is the loopback IP address? The loopback IP address is 127.0.0.1. As part of troubleshooting network connection issues, it is used to test network interface card for functionality. If you ping this IP address, it completes successfully. It means that your hardware is okay. Question number 8. What is DHCP? DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. The main function of DHCP is to handle distribution of IP addresses on a network. IP address assigned by DHCP server is dynamic, meaning that they are leased and released dynamically. To explain it further, if you connect a PC to a network, it will get a leased IP address, and if you disconnect or move that PC, it will be assigned a different one. Question number 9. What is FTP and port used? FTP is a file transfer protocol used to transfer large files between computers with built-in ability to pause transfer of data. Ports used by FTP are 20 and 21. Question number 10. What is SSH and port used? Also known as secure shell, is used to establish a secure connection between devices, which can be anything from computers to switches. For example, you can use SSH at a cafe and connect to any device anywhere by establishing a configured secure shell tunnel between two devices, making the connection secure. Question number 11. What is the maximum length of UTP cable allowed? The maximum length of UTP is 90 to 100 meters for a single segment connection. If you have a switch or a repeater, it can compensate for this limitation. Question number 12. What are the layers of OSI model and how many? There are 7 layers of OSI model: physical layer, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and application. Question number 13. What is the job of network layer? A textbook answer for this question is The network layer deals with routing, switching, and transmission of data from one point to another. But this layer is also responsible for error handling and packet sequencing. Question number 14. Can you name different types of network cables? Cat5 runs at 100 megabits a second maximum speed. Cat5e can run up to 1 gigabit a second, and Cat6 can run up to 10 gigabits a second connection speeds. All cables are limited to 100-meter distance in order to run at optimum speed. Question number 15. What is a subnet mask? Subnet mask dictates the size of a network and also tells which part of the subnet our host IP address belongs to. Basically, you can have multiple subnetworks for a given IP address range. Question number 16. Can you tell me the difference between a workgroup and a domain? With a workgroup, you have a collection of systems that are connected to the same network but have their own set of rules and permissions set at a local level. With a domain, you have a group of systems that are bound by the rules of centralized authentication server. In a domain, each system has to connect through the domain server using provided credentials. Question number 17. How would you determine connection path between local host and a server? A trace RT command is used to accomplish this test. Similar to ping command, with addition of letting us visualize which routers or switches are used to connect in reaching of our destination. Used for troubleshooting dead connections. Question number 18. Can you explain IPCONFIG? IPCONFIG command is used to determine TCP IP settings, DHCP configuration, DNS, default gateway, and subnet mask. It can also be used to change local DHCP settings, for example, IPCONFIG/release and /renew. Question number 19. What is VPN? A virtual private network allows users to create a secure connection over public network such as internet. This is commonly used by mobile workers in order to access company's network from a remote location. Question number 20. Why should we hire you? Just as important as the very first question on this list, this is your last chance to tell this employer why you are the best choice for this position. You should talk about your experience and how you could use that to benefit the company. Don't be afraid to exalt yourself without coming off as egocentric. Be polite and smile. As bonus advice, before going for an interview, make sure you do your research about the company you have interviewed with. The main reason for this is multiple interviews in which one of them may be with human resources. Thank you so much for watching. Truth be told, there are countless questions that you may come across, and it's almost impossible to know which ones. I hope this video gives you the confidence that you may need in order to get this awesome job. Good luck to you all and have a wonderful day.